Candy, we will begin with you.
Thank you very much. And good evening, good afternoon, all of you. I want to thank the Llano Grande Center and the youth organizing committee for having this forum here today. The candidates, all of us, appreciate the fact that we can come and bring our message to each one of you so that you can get to know us and you can decide for yourself who you think is the best candidate for the position. I currently am your county commissioner for Precinct 1. I have had this position now for 2 terms. This is my 8th year, and I'm seeking my 3rd term at the end of this term. I started my political career as a member of the school board in the city of Llano. I served on the Llano School Board as a secretary, vice president, and then my last year was president of the board. While I was serving on the board, one of the main problems that we had was attendance of the children that lived in the colonias that weren't going to school. As all of you know, attendance is very important. We all talk about the key to success is education. But when these children can't even get to school to get their education, we have a big problem. And we had a big problem like that in Ghana. As I searched around the precinct, I realized that all of the other school districts, of which we have 11 school districts in the precinct, were also having the same problem. So what I decided to do is I decided to run for county commissioner to try to, change that situation. And so I ran for office. We had 7 people were running at that time, and I was elected the first female county commissioner in all of South Texas. I had the honor of serving as your county commissioner and trying to do the best job that I can for you. This precinct is the largest precinct in the county. We have 257 counties in the state, and we have the 7th largest county, and precinct 1 is the largest precinct in the county. So we have a lot of work, and we have a very limited budget. So what we did when we first came into office is we put a committee together to try to determine where we would start first. Because every school district was calling to get their roads fixed. We didn't even know where to get started. So we put a committee together comprised of transportation directors from every school district. They came in, they did a presentation, they brought in videos, they brought in pictures, and the committee itself decided which was the worst school district, which ones were the ones that had the worst roads. When they decided which school district would be first, all the way up to the last one, we sent down an engineer who engineered on the roads, and we put a program together to try to pave as many roads as we could so that we'd be able to get picked up on the buses and taken to school. We had a very bad situation where buses were getting stuck in the mud, they were falling into ditches, little children were scared to death. They'd have to get off the bus and walk sometimes 2 to 4 miles to get the bus on a paved road. I was appalled by the situation. So we worked very, very hard, and I'm happy to say that at the end of this year, we will have paved every road that we had on the first plan. In addition to that, we have 880 colonias. We have paved a lot of colonias, but there's still a whole lot. As you can imagine, 880 is a large amount of colonias. We have 1/3 of all the colonias between Brownsville and El Paso. Fortunately, 2 years ago, you all voted on a proposition, which is Proposition 2, to fund colonia paving, drainage, and sewer and water if it wasn't any. Just today, I received an award from Water Waterworks for a project that we had with them on a self-help program in La Colonia, where we were able to put water lines to those people, those residents that never had water. In 1997, when I took office, my main priority at that time was to pave roads. But once we started visiting the colonias, we realized that there was many residents that still didn't have water. We still had ladies that were washing their clothes with canal water that was coming in from the irrigation district. So we set aside and we started working on these programs, and I'm happy to say that every colonia now that was on that list now has water. They all have potable water. So I want to continue working with this program. We have all the engineering done. We received almost $4 million for the projects to do our colonia, and now that we have the engineering done and that we've already put out the projects for bidding and have contracts, we should be able to get started. We've started some of the ones, and we should be finishing in this term. And that is why I'm seeking my third term. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero. You may now begin.
Buenas noches, good evening, everybody. Well, how medical needs and a lot of things. And first of all, I would like to start off by thanking the most productive administration possible. First of all. Second of all, I'm here to be working for the people. Third of all, is to make a good impression for you guys to work together and to be one. I'll bring back the food board policy to the commissioner's office that you can go by and talk to everybody there. And talk to them and say, hey, this is the problem, what work should we do by you? I need equal representation with everybody. I need the most important thing is the one-on-one basis working for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero. Ms. Atwood, you may begin.
Good evening. My name is Ignacio Casas, as you all know, Reading County Commissioner Precinct 1, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you all that I am interested in my platform to system and the infrastructure, of course. And I want you to know that according to Bill 1296, the Valley Council granted $175 million. From those $175 million, it was distributed into 3 increments for 3 years. The first 3 years, Hidalgo County received $10 million. We have $10 million available over our last third year without wanting to utilize that money for paving and drainage. So that is the goal, to utilize governmental funding. Also, to provide resources available to the community. They consist of educational programs as far as concerning chemical dependency and alcoholism. That is a very big concern in the Rio Grande Valley. I feel that if we lobby to governmental entities such as Washington, D.C. and the capital, there should be some funding available since we do have the need and we do have the population to serve this. I also believe, this is part of it, the health programs. The elderly is a main concern for me at the present time. They do not receive enough from funding of Social Security or SSI. We need to develop medical programs for them, probably a discount prescription drug program or a medical clinic which will provide them with the medical services needed. I also would like to work on the tax issues. The tax issues is a main concern. They are increased annually. And also we have a 20% interest rate plus 18 and 38% interest rate for outstanding taxes. It is affecting the pocketbook of the people. So I am here to represent all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Atwood. We will now begin with the question and answer session of our program. Audience, we will remind you that you can turn in your questions at the back of the cafeteria. And audiencia, pueden entregar sus preguntas hacia atrás de la cafetería, por favor. Ms. Haney, the first question is, according to the Texas Association of Counties, some of the county commissioners' responsibilities include hands-on service delivery as well as policy-making budget decisions. In your opinion, what should an affected county commissioner do for his or her constituents? ¿Cuál es su definición de la posición de comisionado o comisionada del condado?
Can you repeat the question, and I guess I'll close the microphone because I couldn't understand you.
Okay, sorry. According to the Texas Association of Counties, some of the county commissioners' responsibilities include hands-on service, delivery, as well as policy-making decisions. In your opinion, what should an effective county commissioner do for his or her constituents?
What would a county commissioner do?
Yes. What is the definition of your job?
Oh, okay, the definition of our job is, aside from being the commissioner of the precinct and taking care of the everyday activities that we have to do, which is, we have 3 main funds that we take care of as individual commissioners, which is the Road and Bridge Fund, the Parks Fund, and the Sanitation Fund. Aside from that, we get together once a week with the rest of the commissioners. There's 4 commissioners and a county judge, which comprises the court. Once we get together once a week, we make all the decisions, the budget for the entire county for all 82 departments that we have in the county. So, We do policy making in the sense that we do a lot of budgetary decisions for the county, and that's what the county commissioner does.
Mr. Caballero?
Same question?
Yes, same question.
Okay, first and foremost, you gotta start reducing the spending, where you have to start working with the people, for the district, where the people want to get you to. You gotta stop the overspending, to control taxes, and to start, where do you start this, and your own precinct?
Thank you, Mr. Caballero. Ms. Valdez?
The position of the county commissioner consists of many entities. First of all, I think that we need to leave it over to the concerns of the voters and the public. We need to follow up to see what the major concerns are. We need to look at our budget to see if we have the money to allocate into that. We also need to provide support into these people and with their children and their needs. So I believe that the county commissioner's job consists of, first of all, developing programs, bringing down funding, and utilizing the allocated governmental funding that we have and not use it anymore. We also need to really take into consideration and having an open door policy for all people. And if we're not available, we need to have our administration staff or our professional staff follow up with the people and providing a response. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez.
A 1999 survey shows that nationally 74% of 18 to 25-year-olds do not feel that political knowledge or civic engagement is an important life goal. We can begin to change this rate by creating opportunities for youth to participate locally as we're doing here tonight. What will you do to mobilize the youth vote, to increase youth and younger, and to include youth in the making and governance of your district? Mr. Caballero, you may answer first.
As many people are wanting to get getting married and trying to have a younger baby. And it's very hard when you have all this coming down and you want to get really pretty. The taxes are so high, the mortgages are going to kill you. And you have to start talking to them, say, in reality, the fixtures, how do we fix things, how do we go about it, and work with them, and how that we, them and I together, and say, hey, this is the situation, and we have to start somewhere.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero. Ms. Valdez, same question.
I'm strongly for the educational program. Coming with a teaching background and obtaining my degrees, I feel that we need to provide more support and more influence into our young youth. I feel that we need to be more involved with the university and public speaking and presentation, especially the political science program. Providing public speaking and recruiting students to get involved will probably improve our voters' outlook. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez. Ms. Handy? What I've been doing during the time that I've been in political office is that I've been going to the schools to do career day presentations. And I also have been going to the high schools to not recruit, but to register those students that are going to be turning to an age that they're going to be able to vote. We've been registering an average of 150 students per high school every year. And talking to them about how important it is for them to vote, we give them a little history of, what it's taken for us to get to this point. It wasn't that long ago that women were allowed to vote, and it wasn't that long ago that Hispanics were allowed to vote. There was a lot of people that have died to give us that right, and I think a lot of us and a lot of the new generation does not know that, doesn't realize what happened. And I think it's very important for us to go out and to educate them about where we are and how we got there and how important it is for them to vote, because their vote is their voice. Whoever they vote for is the person that's going to represent them. And so it's very important for them to understand that, and to understand that if they want to change and they want something done, they need to do it themselves, and they need to go out there and get involved. Thank you, Ms. Handy.
Mrs. Valdez, what are the defining principles of your leadership, and how has your campaign demonstrated these principles?
As far as leadership, I feel that providing involvement by other individuals and having the support will make you a great leader. You need to network with several resources and several entities, especially the public and the voters. You need to recruit people involved. A leadership stands for an individual that is able to represent others, is able to provide a service, and is able to guide the people into the right direction. May it be medical, may it be education, may it be employment, but we do need leaders. And in order to have those leaders, we need to become educated, and we need to educate each other. We need to listen to each other and follow through with our commitments. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Costa. Could you repeat the question, please? What are the defining principles of your leadership, and how has your campaign demonstrated those principles?
My campaign has pretty much going out and letting everybody know what I have done as a leader for the past 8 years. I think that I have shown everyone the change that has come about and the quality of life people now have. There are people now that have water that never had it before. There are people out there that have paved roads that never had it before. There are children now attending school, any inclement weather when they never could before. We have programs that we started a Project Recover program for kids that were involved in gangs that were in satanic cults, where we got the #1 rated program in the state of Texas, and we're nationally recognized for that program. We also have a GD connection where we took those same kids from that were already too old to go back to school, and we put them through this educational program where we graduated 53 students last year with their GED. And we also are very involved in making sure that our environment is clear of debris and trash, and we're educating people about that as well, because it's very important that people also realize that we have a big problem with that. And so we're out going to the communities into the Bologna and educating people about that special issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Handy. Mr. Caballero, same question? What are the defining principles of your leadership, and how has your campaign demonstrated those principles?
As a very successful business, we use that to work with people and let them take me where they want to take me, for their vision, where they want the precinct to go to, and have a different point of view, saying, hey, it's time that we want this, I will lead from there wherever they want to go. I'm just the simple service that follows you where you want to take it. That's all.
Thank you, Mr.
Commissioner Court should oversee the construction, maintenance, and improvement of county roads and bridges. Currently, the county distributes funding for road maintenance equally between all precincts. Ms. Handy, given that Precinct 1 has more road mileage than other precincts, what is the likelihood of making the precinct's road budget proportional to its mileage, and would you support such a measure?
I have been fighting for that measure since I've been in Congress in 1997. We never had a road study before that showed exactly how much mileage Precinct 1 had. We had 34% of all the county roads in Precinct 1, where Precinct 2 had 16% and Precinct 4 had 17%. That is why Precinct 1 now has double the employees that we had before. Because we came with 25 employees when we came in, and now we have 90. So we need a lot. We also didn't have equipment. We had equipment from 1949 and 1952. So we went on and we were able to get CIP funding to get new equipment. But as far as proportionate funding, it takes a vote of 3 of the commissioners, or 2 commissioners and a judge, to be able to change that. And at this point, none of the commissioners want to give up their money. Everybody gets their money, nobody wants to give it up. So it's been a hard fight, but whenever we run out of funds, I've been lucky and fortunate that when I've gone back to the Commissioners Court to ask for more funding, they've been able to give me more funding, because during the year, delinquent fines that are during the year. So I've been able to get enough money for a year and be able to take care of the project so we can keep the employees working all year long.
Thank you, Ms. Handy. Mr. Caballero, same question. The Precinct 1 has more road mileage than the other precincts. Likelihood of making the precinct's road budget proportional to its mileage. Would you support such a measure?
Yes, you would try to work harder for your precinct, even if they're represented in the big precinct. But at the same time, work within the precinct for the roads that needed more, not only for those only 1 or 2 houses, in the roads where there's 50 houses, and the roads are bad, and the roads are this house. So we gotta find more for our precinct. We're bigger than precinct 2, than precinct 3, and precinct 4. So if we're gonna fight, let's fight together, but to make the roads where it's needed the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero.
As indicated before, I I feel that we need to utilize governmental funding that we're losing. At the present time, I remind you again, we do have $1 billion government money in order that we need to utilize for paving and drainage. The majority, according to the Texas Stock Code that I've looked into, the majority of the colonias happen to be where our grassroots are. They're very recognized colonias. They're colonias that have been indicated and mentioned in the media. I believe that if we utilize the governmental funding, that will leave us funding for the other areas that we have not been allocated money. I also believe that if we utilize the equipment that is provided by the county and follow up with the employers to ensure that the work is being done, we would have a better maintenance of drainage and paving. And then we could avoid the negligence and safety accidents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Mr. Caballero, what is your position on the growing BFI landfill off of FM Pune?
And that's why we know the mistakes and previous study can't measure it. There's a lot of listeners out there. The city of Llano will be growing north more and more. Like, you know, also we in Model 11 and the way on is in Model 12. My point is, this time to stop that. It calls it off. The city's growing north more and more. And later on, we're going to hear this war here in the area. They'll say, blah, 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 that. I believe that that was the worst mistake that I made, started until I was made. And I believe that.
Mrs. Vasquez?
I do believe that we needed the landfill. It does maintain the cleanliness of our county. However, we do need to take into consideration where that landfill is placed. We need to look at how many residential areas are surrounding that landfill and how it's affecting the livelihood of our voters, our taxpayers, and our people. I do know individuals who resided around that landfill, and due to the very strong aroma and the inconvenience, they had to relocate. Unfortunately, it's already there, and I feel that we need to maintain it or work towards a new location. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Vasquez. Ms. Handy?
I think that we don't realize that that was the biggest mistake that the commission have ever made in this county. It has affected a lot of people, especially environmentally. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done at this point. There's been a lawsuit that was filed in court, and it did not go in favor of the residents of this area. BFI is a big corporation being funded by big people, and we need to learn from these kinds of mistakes to make sure that they're not done again in the future. Because my understanding is that they're already looking for another spot to build another landfill. And I will definitely be against it, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that it's not done here locally and anywhere near where any residents may be residing.
Thank you, Ms. Handy.
In October, leaders of the Delta area's various municipalities expressed an interest in working together to improve quality of life in our community. This facilitates this cooperation and to leverage resources. Higher standards of living is achieved.
Involved in all the Delta area, with community leaders. It's company and the teamwork. It's teamwork. We got to keep in mind, just like I tell the people, the change is in your hands. So people need to take into consideration what needs, what resources, what improvements they want to make for the city. And with community involvement and commissioner involvement, county level, then these could be accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Catherine. Ms. Handy, same question. Yes, I've been very active in tolerating what it was when I came into office. I entered into interlocal agreements like House and ELSA. We bring in federal government, the CDBG fund, our zone when it was still there, all that funding. A board that I put together along with Congressman Hinojosa called the Delta Area Revitalization Project. We are looking to bring in manufacturing companies because one of the largest problems that we have in the Delta area is a lack of jobs. We need to, we work on the infrastructure. We have the infrastructure in place now so that we can have any manufacturing company come in, and we are coming in to the Delta area, to the Delta area with about 200 new jobs, and hope after that. So we're very active trying to do that and to work on the infrastructure, which is not way. So we're very happy about that, and hopefully we can bring in a lot more jobs to the people of this area to empower all of the Delta area. And I will continue proper funding for what the cities are needing right now. Thank you, Ms. Handy. Mr. Becker?
Working with the city here is working with the same, with the constituents of their new constituents. But everything is possible, very simple, working together, and working with the federal grants, and working with our individuals. That together, the unity is stronger, and that's just going to be good for you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero.
Example, closing process to continue this construction. Ms. Handy?
Part of the duties that a commission has is not include sidewalks. We don't have funding for that. The funding that we get is specific for specific needs. The road and bridge fund goes to the road and bridge projects. The parks fund goes to the parks project, and the sanitation fund goes directly to sanitation project. Something like that, we have to work with federal government money, like the CDBG fund that I was talking about in HUD, and that's the kind of money we can get to be able to work on the sidewalk. But TxDOT, the Texas Department of Transportation, has grants that we can apply for to be able to bring in sidewalks to the schools or around the schools. It's called the Schools and Safety Program. We have already grants, and it's a matter of one of those grants because it's very complete, but we're going to keep on trying. I'm very, very aware that is
Can you respond to the question?
That's the most important thing, especially for kids who are in elementary work, because just went out of the house. And funding is there. All we need is the people, the right people to get the money out. But it should be done that way. It can't wait for tomorrow or the next day, because those kids are the future.
Ms. Cousins?
Concerning my business background, I would like to say that we need to look at the permits, the building permits, because the building owners are required to place in the sidewalk. We need to make sure that they're in compliance with the city regulations as well as with their requirements. As far as the funding for the sidewalk for the schools, we have the highest population in this area and the most need. I do not feel that there should be such a large concern regarding bringing out funding. I feel that if we advocate strongly enough as voters, as taxpayers, as concerned citizens, we should be able to bring out the funding for sidewalk for school districts through Austin Capital. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cousins. Question and answer session. Each side will now have the opportunity to give statements.
Discussion about what a commissioner can and cannot do. There's just certain things, and I just want to make sure that the funding that we get on the funding that comes not from the tax authority, but it comes from the fines that are collected at the county courts of law. Also, there's a small fee that you pay on your license plate tag, and that also is part of the road and bridge fund. The parks fund are specific towards funding for the parks, and the sanitation budget is strictly for sanitation. Aside from that, you are not allowed to use that particular money for anything else. So I want to be very, clear when you hear that, we need to do this and we need to do that. Yes, there's a lot of needs that we have, but a county commissioner only can do certain amounts of things under the law. So I just want to clarify that for you. One of the biggest problems that we have right now is the trash problem. And filling in our ditches, a lot of people go and throw their trash in the ditches. We've installed 5 collection stations free of charge so that people can go and throw their trash in there instead of throwing them in the ditches. We want to continue that program to make sure that our ditches are free and clear of debris so that we don't have any flooding. We're going to continue our paving program. The Proposition 2 funding is specific for the Colonia. You cannot use Proposition 2 funding for any other roads other than Colonia roads and for drainage and sewer lines that go into those Colonias. We will continue that program and we will be using all of that funding. And not only that, but we will go back to the state and ask for funding until we can complete all our projects. I want to continue that program, and I will continue to use the road and bridge fund for county roads so that we can have all the best roads that we can have. And in addition to that, I have a new project that I want to do, which is the Llano County Loop. By the year 2020, if we don't do something about our highways, we're going to be bumper to bumper from Westaco all the way to Macau. It will take us 2 hours to get there.
We want to make sure that we work with the problems that we've had in the past, that we work with the problems that we have today, but that we have vision and look towards the future and make sure that today we plan for the future. Because right now the highway expansion that is taking place is too late. That should have been done 10 years ago. We have a lot of traffic right now, we have a lot of accidents, and we need to make sure that we look toward the future and plan for that. I want to continue doing that, and I want to continue serving as your county commissioner. I think the majority of you know what it was like back in 1996 before I took office, and I think that you have seen the difference. I have the experience, I've had 16 years with county government. I am the only candidate up here that has that amount of experience with county government. I've served as your county commissioner for 8 years. I have done a good job, and I will continue to do a good job for you. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Ms. Knight. Mr. Caballero?
Very much. Well, up to this point, I've gotten that over 50% of good promise. I'm here to fulfill, will make the most productive, less expensive, and work for the people, by the people, and with the people.
Thank you, Mr. Caballero. Mrs. Scott?
Well, I want to let you all know that we have lost a lot of governmental money, and that's why our tax rates keep increasing. Those tax rates are very high. We pay what urban cities pay, but we don't have the jobs or the industry available. We don't have the salaries that they have. That's why we're at the economic level that we're at the present time. I'm running for you. I'm ready to make a difference and make a change. I'm ready to listen to the needs of the people. I'm ready to show everyone that I am an individual from the valley who migrated from state to state. I had a child in each state, obtained migrant scholarships and loans to obtain an education, to come back to Rio Grande Valley to help the people from the valley. I've worked in many social service and legal entities. I have a lot of experience and a lot of guidance that I can provide you with. I am new at this. As far as the political arena is concerned, yes. But I have earned every objective, reached every goal, and every position that I have held successfully. So I leave it in your hands. If you want to change, I am your best candidate for the Llano County Commissioner Precinct 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scott.
And now, Tanya Gonzalez, another one of the youth organizers, will speak.
This concludes the first segment of the candidates forum. At this time, I'd like to thank candidates for their participation. We shall now have a 5-minute break while we prepare to hear the remarks of the candidates for State Representative District 40. Refreshments are now being served near the fly-by areas in the back of the cafeteria. Thank you.